Hello, how are you? I'm stopping by to read you a story by Sarah Hall from Sudden Traveller. The story is called Live That You May Live. Live That You May Live by Sarah Hall. My daughter wakes in the night. Mummy, she calls, there's a bird. There's a bird in my bed. I go into her room, switch on the bluish night light. She's standing up, holding the sheet above her head. Mommy, she says, the bird was flapping on my pillow. It was just a dream, I tell her. Lie down, go back to sleep. But Mummy, she says, its wing was on my face. Oh, that was just the blanket. No, Mummy, no. There's a bird. It was winding round my neck. It was trying to fly me. Together we search behind the pillow. We look through her hair, tarnish-coloured, wild from its double crown, and under her small bare feet. We unbutton her pyjamas down the soft wall of her chest. Just a dream, I tell her. Lie down. Go back to sleep. She sits and thinks for a moment. There's a dream and a bird in my bed, she says. She holds a finger to her lips. Shh, Mummy, don't wake them. She settles on her side, feet splayed like a mermaid's tail, archer arms, her bow finger touching the wood's dark veneer. Childish. Mythic. I kneel and stroke her back, tell her she is safe, tell her I am here. Her eyes are bright and open, my chaste and searching girl. She is already quarry, already hunting reason, lost between imagined worlds. So the artists make us, so the storytellers promise. But I made her, in a womb once cut apart, stoned and sewed. Cells and strings and hope, I made her bed, 8 bolts, 12 screws, 5 panels of false mahogany. Foolproof for skillless artisans, unbreakable when she jumps. Nails, dovetails, glue. Mummy, she says, tell me a story about birds and dreams and me. Hush, I say. Close your eyes, sleep. Tell me a story, Mummy, but only say what's true. The flicker of her old gold lashes, a twitching foot, the rustling sheet. Then she is still and quiet. What shall I say? Once there was a girl. One night when she was sleeping, birds came to take her. They were creatures of extraordinary plumage, white as fire, with beads of blood for eyes and long necks that wound around each other. They came as if from nowhere, on creaking, muscled wings, calling out across the skies until they found her. They lifted her bed upon their shoulders, bore it like a carriage from the house, and flew her up into the sky. They flew her far from home. All through the night her bed was towed, up over the little island and the great cool roof of Europe, over lands of men and commerce where wars raged, over lands of women who wept and loved without hesitation, over the smoke of poor villages and smouldering cities, valleys of wild red flowers, the longing sea. They flew her along the withers of black mountains and down mirrored rivers, through great falling doorways of water, past empty palaces and earth-filled fountains, stone salons of fate and time. They flew her past the undecided moon. She did not know where they would take her. When they arced down, their wings beat sheets of cloud, their beaks tore the shroud of night and let the sunlight enter. They came to ground on black webbed feet, the hot engines of their breasts cooling, landing the girl in places she could never have imagined. In raised and ropeless towers, shadowlands, broken reefs and windless deserts. In scented gardens and forcing houses, the lair of dragons, witches' caves. They set her gently into stiff schoolgirl shoes, green silk gowns and glass-etched heels loaned from other women's wardrobes. They landed her into soldiers' boots and baskets of fish carried by grandmothers, into beauty, secrets and knowledge. Into the theatre of desire, where she saw the art of painted faces, lust's brokerage holding fire inside the mouth and hand, into the arms of unhearted men and sick and ardent suitors, into the poet's hand, into love's abandoned chances. They took her to the place where queens are made. From murderous ends, from iron tides, sacrifice, fury, tinder, powder, destructed elements, no materials known to man. The bird's feathers burned pale as fire. Her little bed was gone. The birds left her there. They raised their wings, lifted their heavy bodies in the air, and, red-eyed, calling to each other, they flew on. She called for her mother to come. She waited hours, days. She split her heart open and held it like two bowls to catch her tears. She drank the rain, she ate the snow, she watched the stars spin overhead, coveted as jewels, ruthless as choices. Then she lay down, curled warm inside her suffering. When she woke, she tried to find her way back home. She walked, she ran, she rode the rumps of bony cows and breaching whales. She wove shoes from bark and wicker. She stole saucepans, coats and candles. She sold her hair to pay for bread. She followed the red throne of the setting sun. On the way, she slept in other beds. Beds left empty, beds full of water, beds made of timber, bone and silver, beds carved from the forest's heart, hardwood that ballasted slaves, that glossed the emperor's table, built fortunes, ports, drew coins slowly through its sap. Beds heavy as ice mantles, ordered for courtesans to serve the wealth of love's needs, cut by desire's machines. Beds watched over by longing crowds and the creatures of the sea. Beds in which she learned to read, in which she conducted passion, rode lovers like falling trees, tasted rivers of seed, broke open others' hearts, was broken, bound, was owned as she was free. Beds where she was all herselves and none. When she was alone again, she slept naked under roofless stars and in ocean rooms, in salted heavens, libraries, frozen doorways, in grass forms on the moors. She slept between the blue, spilled hearts of lakes, and on the great hot breasts of resting swans, inside the belly of monsters, the very eye of the moon. She saw light emptying and filling in the called-out skies. She remembered flying. She looked for the birds, but they were gone. She walked. She ran. She joined the herds. She swam with shoals. She caught eels and quartered them. She drank wine and milk and milkless pauper's tea. She learned to count money, learned to speak in tongues. She painted mountains, mended torn hems and nets, thatched, mapped waterways. She left suitcases on the road. She forged papers. She crossed borders and crossed borders and crossed borders, hoping to find where she was going. She took the name of saints, hope, sorrow, ruin, all her names, chosen every one. She took titles, husbands, brides, collected rings, memories of peat and silt and hurt, carried lanterns, stone boats, blessings, coffins. She burned everything, forgot the names of enemies, forgot the name of her mother. She drew no face in the river. She believed only in living, believed in every breath except the last. She did not find her home, though she had tirelessly travelled. She knew that she was made of roads. She knew moving was her spirit. And so she lay in one last bed, unbreakable as death, and closed her eyes, and in her hand, plucked from the ashes, she held a feather. "Mummy," my daughter whispers, "tell me." But she is already sleeping. I draw the blanket up, turn out the light and close the door. She is another story, not this story, not the archer or the mermaid's foot, the queen or consul's wife, mistress, maker of peace or moons, mother of children, siren, widow, sign. She is not mine. She is of what I cannot know, unmade, ready. The birds are coming. They will wind her forward every night. I will be old and wakeful, my body too weak to build anything, mother to the daughter of time. They are coming on white, definite wings. That was Live That You May Live by Sarah Hall from Southern Traveller. This very beautiful book with this image by Egon Schiele on the cover. Thank you so much for listening, and see you next time.